The waiting room outside my downtown office hummed with tension. Through the glass walls, I saw my father, William Cartwright, fidgeting in the same expensive suit he'd worn when he laughed at my business plan last Christmas. "Mr. Cartwright," my assistant Rachel called, "Miss Chin will see you now." He flinched slightly at my married name, the one he'd scoffed at when I chose to keep it after my divorce instead of returning to the family brand. My phone buzzed. Cartwright Industries stock down another 15%. Urgent need for capital. "Sarah," he greeted me, straining to sound composed. "You look well." I gestured to the chair across from me, recalling his words, "A tech startup? At your age? Be serious, princess. Stick to what you know." "Thank you for meeting," he began, clearly rehearsed. "As you may know, Cartwright Industries is exploring strategic partnerships." "You mean you're 3 months from bankruptcy and desperate for investors," I corrected, pulling up their financials on my screen. His face paled. "How did you?" I smiled. "The same way I knew your infrastructure was obsolete when I offered to modernize it last year, the same way I knew your refusal to digitize would cost you your market." Another buzz. "Acquisition documents ready, awaiting your approval." "Now, Sarah," he shifted to his patronizing tone, "I know we've disagreed on your choices, but surely we can put family first." "Family?" I raised an eyebrow. "Like when you told the country club I was having a midlife crisis, or when you warned clients not to work with me?" He looked away, embarrassed. I was trying to protect you." "No," I said, "you were trying to control me, to keep me in the safe, predictable lane you approved of. How's that working out?" I opened my laptop, revealing Chin Technologies' market valuation, $3.22 billion. His eyes widened, the same projections he once called fantasies. "But, you work from home, you dress casually, you drive a normal car." "Because success isn't about flaunting wealth," I replied, "it's about creating something real while others chase appearances." Another buzz. "Board meeting in 10 minutes, ready for your move." I pulled out the contract his board had practically begged me to consider. "Let's talk about what your legacy is really worth." Sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't proving them wrong, it's becoming their only hope while they're still underestimating you. I set the contract on the desk. His eyes flicked to the figure, $200 million for controlling interest. "This is aggressive," he stammered, tugging at his collar. "Like calling me too emotional for tech investments," I said, pulling up more documents, "or warning your golf buddies that working with me would be career suicide." Another ping. Cartwright Industries' biggest client requesting urgent meeting with Chin Technologies. "Sarah, please." He leaned forward, desperation finally cracking his polished mask. "The company, your grandfather's legacy." "My grandfather's legacy?" I let out a soft laugh. "The same legacy you hid behind to reject every modernization plan, the same one now bleeding $2 million a week because you refused to evolve." I displayed side-by-side graphs, Cartwright's falling stock, Chin Technologies' meteoric rise. "While you clung to legacy, I built the future," I continued. "All the clients you warned away are now lining up at my door, all the investors you mocked me to, they're begging for a seat at my table." He sagged in his chair, shoulders finally dropping. "I didn't know," he started. "No," I cut in, "you didn't want to know, because admitting it meant accepting that your daughter understood the future better than you ever did." My phone lit up again, market rumors of acquisition driving Cartwright stock lower, board demanding immediate action. "The terms are simple," I said, sliding the contract across the desk. "Chin Technologies takes controlling interest, full digital overhaul, all positions evaluated on merit, not last names." "Merit-based?" he choked out. "Yes," I said firmly, "turns out, you find incredible talent when you stop handing out titles as family favors." I stood and walked to the window, looking out over the city, my city now, in more ways than he could ever imagine. "You have 2 options, Dad: sign, and let me save your company, or watch it collapse under its own outdated arrogance." "And if I sign?" he asked, voice barely above a whisper. "Then Cartwright Industries joins the future," I replied. "Oh, and you might want to polish your resume. My CEOs actually need digital literacy." Another buzz. "PR team ready. Market expects announcement before close." "You'd remove me as CEO?" he said, the words catching in his throat. "Like you removed me from succession planning when I suggested modernization? Like when you told the board I wasn't strong enough for leadership?" I turned back, adjusting my simple blazer, the same one he once mocked as unprofessional. Ironic, isn't it? I said lightly. The daughter you thought needed protecting now owns enough tech to buy your company 10 times over. From your home office, he added bitterly. In jeans sometimes, I smiled, because real power isn't in suits or corner offices, it's in knowing how to adapt, something Cartwright Industries should have learned long ago. The contract sat between us, a thin line separating his crumbling empire from my rising one. Time's up, I noted, glancing at my watch, a simple model that had closed every deal I'd ever signed. Your board's patience is dropping as fast as your stock price. His hand trembled as he reached for the pen. I never thought you'd make it without me, he whispered. I didn't think you could build something bigger than Cartwright, that you'd be the one to own my legacy, that you'd be so ruthless. Ruthless? I tilted my head. No, just successful, on my terms, in my way, wearing whatever I damn well please. As he hovered over the signature line, decades of his certainty shattered before my eyes. Sometimes revenge isn't just rescuing their company, it's making them realize that your success never needed their approval, or their dress code. And I did it all while they laughed at me from country clubs, convinced I was just playing entrepreneur, because the best power move, letting them laugh, right up until you own their entire world. That evening, news of Chin Technologies' acquisition of Cartwright Industries dominated the business reports. I watched from my home office, the same little hobby room he once ridiculed, as the markets exploded. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, family members who suddenly remembered me, executives scrambling to protect their jobs, his golf buddies frantically sending LinkedIn requests. Miss Chin, Rachel's voice crackled over the intercom. The board is assembled for the transition meeting. Thank you, I replied, smoothing my casual blazer over my jeans, my signature uniform that had scandalized the old guard. And finally, I stepped forward to claim the seat they said I'd never earn. My phone lit up. Cartwright Industries stock up 45% on acquisition news. Chin Technologies hits new record highs. I entered the boardroom virtually, exactly as I'd insisted when I upgraded their ancient conferencing systems. My father now sat among his former executives, no longer at the head of the table. Good evening, I began, scanning their uneasy faces on my screen. Let's discuss the future of Cartwright Industries. Sarah, my father started, voice strained. Perhaps we should wait for you to join us in person. This is me joining, I replied calmly. Welcome to modern business, where success isn't measured by hours in mahogany offices but by results. I shared my presentation. A new structure unfolded before them. First change, every position will be reassessed for relevance in a digital economy. Those who can't adapt will receive generous retirement packages. Nervous murmurs erupted. These men had never faced evaluation, their titles handed down like family heirlooms, their competence never questioned. But, the traditional ways, one executive protested. Cost you $50 million last year. I cut in. Tradition is lovely for holiday cards. In business, we follow data. My phone buzzed, tech integration teams ready to deploy. Second, mandatory digital literacy training for all leadership. Yes, that means learning to use more than just email. My father's face flushed crimson. He'd once declared that real deals happened on golf courses, not on screens. Third, headquarters is now a hybrid workspace. The private dining room, a coding lab, the executive golf simulator, a digital innovation center. But, where will we entertain clients? One stammered. In virtual reality conference spaces. I smiled. You might want to learn how to log in first. Their faces fell as they realized, their leather-bound, old-school kingdom was over. One last thing, I added, dress code, abolished. We measure professionalism by performance, not pressed suits. My father actually gasped. But, he began. Funny, I said, holding his gaze. Amazing what you discover when you stop judging people by their clothes. My phone buzzed again. First efficiency reports complete. 30% of executive roles flagged as redundant. I straightened my casual blazer. If you'd like to join the future, download our digital transformation app tonight. If not, HR will contact you about retirement options. Silence. The same men who had laughed at my hobby startup, who dismissed my warnings and ridiculed my jeans, now sat frozen, their futures dangling by a thread. Oh, and Dad, I added softly, remember when you said I'd never understand real business because I preferred coding to golf? I paused, letting it sink in. The algorithm I wrote that day just determined which executive positions will be eliminating first. His face turned ashen. Priceless. Sometimes revenge isn't just taking control, it's forcing them to conform to the future they once mocked. And I did it all from my home office, in casual clothes, building an empire while they obsessed over country club invites and tailored suits. Because the greatest power move is letting them cling to their past, until you own their entire future. My phone buzzed one last time. Cartwright's transformation trending worldwide. Your father's golf club membership revoked. Turns out, success doesn't need their approval, their dress code, or their golf swing. It just needs vision, data, and the patience to let them laugh, until you buy their world out from under them. Game over, Dad. Welcome to my digital empire.